Hi folks, Nick here recapping the day, Monday, Bloodbath, Monday 0629. Basically down 2% or worse on the markets. For a second it looked like they were going to hold or rally, but alas they didn't. Trigger was last night. Basically the pre-open, the session started on a sour note because we had no deal, no good news from Greece, more bad rhetoric, and the market sold off. People are trying to say that it was China. I think it was all Greece, or mostly Greece. Had China done it all by itself and there was no Greece in the headline, we would have been down a little bit, but not that much. The problem in China was they did a QE and they still dropped 3%, but really the drop was more. They were up 2% in the morning, then down 8%, and then they closed down 3%. So take it or leave it as far as which is good news, the fact that they closed off the high, the fact that they dropped 8% on top of a drop. Anyway, the markets there are down 20% in the last, 10 days, 2 weeks, but they're up 40% from the time before that, so they're still positive, but technically they're in bear territory. Anyway, China aside, the lows at the pre-open on Sunday night were 2055-ish, 54-ish. I was hoping we'd hold it. We looked like we were going to hold it in the ES. They held until then, bam. Right here, something happened, which is around Apple. This candle in Apple was too big to handle. About the same time, we had the S&P, or Moody's, was it? I don't know. One of these two rating agencies, they cut Greece to CCC minus whatever it is ratings, duh. But the one thing that scared people, they said there's a 50% chance of the Brexit. And people took it seriously. A, those are the same people that missed the biggest bubble of all time. And B, 50%. They're telling us that it's a coin flip. Well, we knew that. It's a coin flip. So people are freaking out that they didn't think it would be as high as 50%. Well, they'll either leave or they won't leave. There's your 50%. It's always 50%. So anyway, the people freaked out and we sold to newer lows. And Apple did close towards the low of the day. So did the S&P. So did the small caps. The small caps were in line almost all day, and then at one point they go, let me go run. The NASDAQ down very big at 224. These are the indices. You know, red happens, right? This is the S&P 500, only one green one that I see. Who is that? Amphenol, whatever that is, and Pentair. S&P 100, nobody. Maybe this one, Southern Copper, a little up. Russell, barely a few greens out of 2,000. None in the NASDAQ 100 and none in the Dow. So red happens today. We're not going to chase it. All right, so enough. What about tomorrow? We have no reason to rally. By we, I mean traders today. The biggest problem today was breadth. The traders had no reason to buy any bounces. All the bounces were sold. Any small bounce that came was sold. You know, bounce, sold, bounced, sold, bounce, sold. Lower highs, lower lows all day. They never stabilized. Apple tried several times. They tried to stop it here. They couldn't. They tried to stop it here. See, two bounces. They held it. They couldn't. They tried to stop it here, two bounces, they couldn't. They couldn't. And they tried to stop it here and maybe they couldn't. So all day long we've had nothing but badness. So what about tomorrow? Well, the reasons we're down here, if we agree it's Greece, the problem lingers. In fact, tomorrow it's bigger because tomorrow is the so-called deadline before they can become in default, in arrears. Well, I argue that they already are in arrears because they missed the 6/5 payment and two consequent payments for that 2 following weeks when they said, we're not going to pay you, we're going to pay you later. So nothing is going to change, and I don't think they're going to make a nickel payment. Their leader is calling for the referendum. Not only that, he's also saying, vote against it because I know they won't kick us out. He's playing poker with the whole country. He's banking on the fact that they won't kick the Greeks out of the euro. I don't know what he knows that we don't know, but I think that he's in danger of getting kicked out if he wants to play that game. If he doesn't want to pay, it's one thing. If he doesn't want to pay and say, hey, I'm not going to pay and they're not going to kick me out, that means you become a squatter. Anyway, so he is playing roulette with yours and my money. So what do? I sent out a couple of notes today, what I don't do and a few things that I would do. And I would not stay in the face of trouble just on hopium. And hopium it's hard to find today. Even the most bullish people are saying some bearish things. Not because suddenly the fundamentals have changed tremendously. They have not. The fundamentals for us, the U.S., are still exactly the same. There's going to be some bystander, like Priceline down 3% today. Priceline has a lot of European exposure. I think Priceline would be a good buy after it's done falling. Facebook down 2.5%, 3% on Twitter. Baba has China exposure, so Visa down 3%. The VIX is up 35%. I told you when the VIX gets too low, things happen. The banks here are down big time. 8%, no, sorry, Bank of America down 3%, and Goldman Sachs, JPM, BlackRock, they're all down big time. Some momentum stocks are down huge, but that's expected. LinkedIn down 6%. That's expected. So they're booking profits is what they're doing. Today's selling is not fear. They're booking profits, setting up for a downfall. Having said that, this could be a preview of what's to come. Should actually a problem happen, the actual problem, should it happen, this is just an anticipation. We will drop hard. We have that possibility. I'll give you an example. Just imagine tomorrow we come into a minus 10% China market and the worst case scenario in Greece. Do you think we would have a bounce from today's drop of 2%? There's no reason for it. Let me show you something. These are the ranges, the S&P 500. These are the all-time highs. We're just 5-6 points away from the all-time highs. That's 2.5-3% mental math. Don't quote me. This is the NASDAQ. We're one candle away from the all-time high. This is weekly candles. These are the small caps. That's the all-time high last week. So one red candle away from last week's all-time high, you want to call a bottom? I'm not ready to do that. Okay, and if this is breaking, usually it has. Anyway, the bottom line is, you read Twitter today, you'll see all these technical analysts coming out and saying, we've got head and shoulders, it's been broken, we've got X. That's true, all true. We've got head and shoulders, the neckline was 2075 on the SPX, and then we had lower now. So the ideal target, they start spitting out numbers. Basically, the ideal target is 2 more days like today, maybe 2.5. That's putting it in plain simple English. So what do? If I have trades that will get in trouble in another day or two like today, I should start thinking about defending them if I haven't done that already. That's why I sent the note out. If you're a little confused, send me a question. I won't share anything with anyone. I'll try to help you out. So today's recap is more about general terms and not specifics. So now we get into the specifics, okay? So what happened in the S&P? First of all, this is the IOIT. Those are the transports. I drew this, I don't know when, but it's touched it. I don't know why I drew it, but I know it coincides with the lows. This is the October lows that pierced it a little bit, but not by much. So ideally, the range is tightening, so there's going to be another move down or another move up. So who knows? They're not driving markets, but they need to bounce in order for markets to move. But today, we can't pick on them because everybody was down. In fact, what was the IYT down? Less than the market, so they outperformed the market. Okay, so this is the NASDAQ, the Qs. We lost that green trend. That's a long-time trend. And, I'm sorry, the SPY, the S&P. We've lost it once before, and that was here. And look, a couple of candles ran up to new highs. So all hope is not lost, but look at the volumes. So we could still accelerate. The volumes are not as big as the wash down. The Qs, also high volumes. Now the Qs are at a place where they need to bounce. Why? Because it's approaching this level where it's bounced before. And it's about the level where we've had resistance in the past. This is 1 year. But we still haven't breached this nice trend. So we can afford another candle like today before we start running naked in the streets. Sorry for that picture. How about the small caps? A big candle down, but they're so close to the all-time highs, you can't fault them. This white thing broke a little today, this one. We'll see how this one holds up, which, look at that. X marks the spot. When did I draw this? A while back, right? I didn't move it. Look at it. Kiss it. I didn't move it. All right. That's why we do ranges. Tomorrow we're going to get tested on the lower end of the ranges. I'll tell you in the morning how the preparation has developed in the options market, meaning how options traders are realigning their positions, if any. And I will share that ahead of the open, and maybe we'll have some exposure to what's going on in the Greek situation, the Greek saga. All right, so these are the particulars. One particular today that is on our radar, it was Apple. It tried to play the champion for a long time, but then it too had to revert to redness. And look at that. It lost this one level, and now it's headed to this one level, which we thought could be a possibility. We said if it loses that a few days ago, it's going to come down to here. But we have some stuff to hang our hats on. So no panic yet in Apple, and if anything is to hold up in the face of adversity, it's a premier company like Apple. I see people today trying to catch a falling knife in everything. There is no need. I try to catch a falling knife when I see reasons that they're going to stabilize. I don't care what's valuable or not, what's good value or not. I want to know when they're going to stop selling. That's why I do credit spreads. I don't worry about what's worth what. It's what the market is willing to pay for what. I always say that. So even though it's a great value, that doesn't mean they're not going to sell it down to $100 a share. I don't know that. I need to see reasons or hints of reasons for why people should step into Apple. All right, so what I don't do is I don't step into this wood chipper. I buy protection where protection is needed. Anything that's 70% maximum chance of success or worse, that's too close to a coin flip for me. I move it while I can. You say you'll have time. I say maybe you do, maybe you don't. Today the SPX was down 43, almost 44 points. Did you see that coming on Friday? Bet you not. Yeah, so we didn't talk about it because we had no positions that are in danger in the face of it. Other people that have them and they didn't do anything about it, hoping that the best will work out, that's a mistake, and that's where usually the costly mistakes happen. So hopefully everybody still has time to move out. I do believe I sent a couple of notes in the last couple of days in order to help people get prepared, and I got a lot of messages saying, okay, nice job on this, thank you for that. I needed this and I needed that. So that's why we prepare. Any questions? Let me know. Nick signing out.